Hi, in this session we'll talk about relational database. So what is a relational database? In most simple words, a relational database is a data store that represents data in a table-like format. Let's try to understand it with the help of an example. So let me ask you a question first. How do you structure data in Java? The answer to that is you write a Java class for it. A class defines the type of data objects of that class could store in them. For example, we have a class book here which has ISBN of the book defined to be of type string. What this means is that this ISBN data attribute could be assigned only string type of data in it. But the way we structure data in a relational database management system, which is designed to manage data in a relational database, is quite different than the way we do it in Java. A relational database management system can have many relational databases in it, and a relational database can have many tables in it, and a table can have number of rows and columns in it, and each column in a table can store only a particular type of data in it. So to store data into a relational database, we first create the database, and then just like we define the structure of data in Java using Java classes, we define the structure of data for the tables we want our data to be stored into by writing database schema for those tables. And how do we write database schema for those tables? We use SQL for that. SQL, or Structured Query Language, is a language we use to manage data in a relational database management system. So here we have written a simple database schema for a book table in a relational database. And just like we have Java data types in Java, we have SQL data types in a relational database. So we've got three columns here: the ID column, ISBN column, and the title column. And the ID column here could store only the big int type of data in it. Similarly, the ISBN column could store only the varchar type of data in it. So the schema here for the book table defines the type of data columns of this book table could store in them. Another thing to understand here is that these SQL data types depend on the relational database management system we are using. For example, MySQL and SQLite are both relational database management systems, but datetime is an SQL data type which is available only in MySQL. Now, while representing data in a table-like format, a relational database also has two fundamental rules that it follows. The first one is entity integrity rule, and it says that every table has a primary key in it, and null values are not valid values for that key. For example, here we have a relational database called My Database, and we have two tables in it, the book table and the publisher table. And in the book table, the ISBN column is defined as the primary key for it. What this means is that each row in the book table depends on the value of its ISBN column, and the value of the ISBN column should not be null. It should be a valid value, and it cannot contain a duplicate value either. Similarly, the value of ID here is defined as the primary key for the publisher table. The second rule that a relational database follows is referential integrity rule. In a relational database, two tables are associated with each other with the help of a foreign key, and it points at a value that is the primary key of another table. For example, the book table here is associated with the publisher table with the help of publisher_ID column, which is defined as the foreign key of the publisher table, and it is referring to the ID column of the publisher table, which is the primary key of the publisher table. So the publisher_ID column is the foreign key of the publisher table. Another thing that the referential integrity rule says is that the null values are valid values for a foreign key column. But if a value exists in a foreign key column, then it must refer to a valid reference. So here we have a null value for the publisher_ID column, which is the foreign key of the publisher table. But for a value 1 or 2 in this foreign key column, we have a valid reference in the publisher table with value 1 and 2 in its primary key column. But if the publisher table was like this and it did not have the value 2 in its primary key column, then in that case it would not have been following the referential integrity rule, because the value 2 in the foreign key column of the publisher table does not have a valid reference anymore. So this is how a relational database represents data in a table-like format.